All right, Marcus. So we just finished up a shoot.
Man,
You had a good time.
Yes, we had a great time, man. We had a great time.
I always love shooting with you because you have a lot of good energy, and that's helpful, especially for me being on this side of the camera. But now I'm putting you on the spot.
Oh, snap.
And I'm putting you in front of the camera.
I'm usually the one behind the camera, man. You know, it's a little different. I see now what my clients go through when you be in front of the camera.
No, but it's all good. So what I wanted to do today is, you know, obviously I work with a lot of business owners, a lot of coaches who are branding themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the first things that we do is shoot new photos.
Right.
And I want to make sure that they know what they should be doing. And so from the mouth of a photographer and a videographer and someone who clearly knows sound as well.
Yeah, right.
Just checking sound. So tell us, what should be the first thing that you think about when you're planning for a brand photo shoot?
I believe the first thing you should think about is how do you want to communicate your brand to your audience? Because that's going to play a big role into how the shoot goes, where you're going to take your shoots at, what locations, what outfits you're going to wear, and what props you're going to bring. So I think that would be the first thing to consider.
So when you're thinking about, because you mentioned locations, is it the job of the subject to choose a location? The photographer choose location? Like, how does that usually work?
I think it's on both parts. It takes two. So it's not on. I don't say it's always the job of the photographer. It is his job to find those locations and have locations in his back pocket or his or her back pocket. But also the client, because some clients will suggest locations or favorite places they like to eat at or favorite places they like to shop. But sometimes if clients don't know where to shoot, usually the photographer will be the one to find the location based off that person's personality and what brand they're trying to represent.
Okay, and so now that we're at the location, we got a good spot, what's the best time of the day to shoot? Like, should we book a shoot at 12 o'clock in the afternoon?
Right.
That's a leading question.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you should definitely, you want to book when the sun is at the soft part of the day. So usually around 11 and 2 o'clock, the sun is at the highest point. And so if the sun is directly above our heads, it will create raccoon eyes under the eyes. And so that's really not a good look. The best time to shoot is a few hours before sunset or very early in the morning. You get that nice soft sun.
Yeah, and I'm going to show some footage right now because I know that we actually shot right around 12 o'clock today.
Yep.
And, you did some really cool things playing around with the lighting, having me kind of in shadows, and even using the lighting to your advantage. Right. Even though it's not always the best time of the day to shoot.
Exactly.
So I guess what I would say with that is if you have a talented photographer, they can probably make almost anything work.
Exactly. You can shoot at any part of the day. You can shoot at nighttime. Yeah. It just depends on the photographer's skill level. So as you saw when we was out shooting, I was sticking to the shadows and I was mostly using the sun to backlight you instead of it hitting directly into your face. Yeah. So just using little techniques like that.
Okay, so now we got the location. Let's talk about what to wear.
Right.
So what should you wear to a brand photo shoot? Are you doing your brand colors? Should you just choose whatever? Like, what should you wear?
It really depends. You can sometimes do your brand colors. You don't want to be exact with your brand colors. You want to kind of complement your brand colors a little bit. And sometimes, usually it's just about fashion. You know, what I've seen with different brands is their marketing, who they are and what they enjoy wearing and giving out a certain fashion taste. And so all of that will kind of align with your brand. Some choose to stick with their colors and some tend to go a little bit out of the rim. Yeah. So you can go either way.
Yeah, I think today I went a little bit outside. Yeah, right. That gold and the leopard print is that's definitely not my brand color. But we made it work. It looks really good.
Exactly. And it gives sometimes by doing that, it gives an extra pop to you, and it shows your personality. And that's what I tell a lot of my clients. It's not about just what you do, but it's who you are as a person, what you like to enjoy, because people will buy into you as a person before they buy into what you do. Yeah. And so by you out there shooting in something that you probably wouldn't usually shoot in, it makes your personality pop, and people can connect with that. Yeah.
So speaking about personality, you do a really good job at directing,
right.
You know, when you're on the shoot. As the person who's coming to the shoot, like, what am I thinking about? How should I pose? Like, how do I know that the photo is actually going to look good?
Yes. So it's one or two things. So one, you if you have a good photographer that knows how to pose, you're going to be okay.
Okay.
And that's the job of the photographer. The photographer should know what your best features are and know your insecurities, and we only know that by talking to you and hanging around you, getting to know you. And so when we're shooting, we're directing you to your best features. And when you're doing lifestyle photography, your personal branding is about capturing candidates, not about strict posing. You don't want to be too strict, because then that's when people get uncomfortable if you don't know how to pose at all. So what I do is I give people certain cues. I'll say, hey, put your hand in your hair while looking off to the side, and you're just laughing like you're having a good time with your girls. And they'll be like, oh, okay. And then I'll be like, yeah, give it to me, girl, give it to me. Yeah. And they'll be like, oh, yeah. And they get into it. So just giving them certain things to do to put them in that mindset. And then the other thing that you can do is to prep for posing is look on Pinterest. Look on Pinterest, type in personal branding poses or lifestyle poses, and just kind of think of some poses and create like little mood boards that can help you.
Okay. So now that we have we got the shoot location, we know what we're gonna wear, we know exactly how to pose. What makes a lifestyle shot for someone who's trying to brand themselves a little bit different from like a portrait studio photography session? Like, what should I, if my photographer doesn't know the type of photos I need, what type of photos do I need for my branding online?
Yes, so it's two different ways. So when I shoot studio, it's mostly for, when it comes to personal branding, it's mostly for flyers, mostly for YouTube banners, or let's say business cards or websites, because sometimes graphic designers will cut that person out from the backdrop and place them on flyers and place them on websites. And it's easier for a graphic designer to cut a subject out the backdrop versus me shooting outside. I got trees and branches, and it's much harder for me to cut that subject out from the backdrop. So if you're doing stuff that you want clean for flyers, websites, business cards, or YouTube banners, we shoot on plain backdrops. Now, outdoors is going to be the number one, that you want to do, because it shows you on the move. Studio, it don't really show you out and about on the move. So you want to really show people that, hey, lifestyle branding, this is what I do. I love to drink coffee. I love to go shopping. I have a family. I have kids. And so you want to show everything around what you do. And so that's the major difference between the two.
And what type of crop are we looking for?
So when you're shooting in studio, the crop is for branding, the crop is really half body and up. Full body, I don't really see a lot of full body when it comes to websites and flyers. It's mostly half body and up. We call it almost like portraits. And so when it's outdoors, it's a mixture of everything. You can shoot portrait, you can shoot full body, you can shoot wide shots, you can shoot tight shots. It's just about telling the story around that person's personality and what they do.
So sometimes I know that you'll have me like point to the wall, or like look at it, or pretend like, I think I used one photo from my 404 page, like, are you lost?
Create those different expressions. Because I know some clients come in, then I'll have them do and say, hey, point this way and look at the camera and smile and look above your hand. People be like, what in the heck am I doing? Like, and it's because if you do this and I cut you out on the flyer, or your designer cuts you out, they can put your logo up here and say, have you ever decided to book a coach today? Or you can give a confusing look and say, myths about booking a tax professional. Like, you can save money by booking today, So with personal branding, I always say emotions work the best, because that person could use that content for any type of flyer or any type of thing that they put out on social media.
Okay, let's talk about props. What sort of props do we need for a branding shoot? So you actually sent me a PDF.
Right.
Idea.
Got the guide out. So props adds a little flair to the shoot. And props can be a laptop, because if you have a laptop, when I'm sitting here working on a laptop, it's showing that, hey, I'm the busy boss woman. That's, you know, this is how I start my day. Or if you're in the bed and you're, you know, you're beautified out of bed, but you got the laptop on the bed with a cup of coffee. It's like, you know, the first thing I do every morning is drink a cup of coffee and
like
respond.
Tells a story.
Yes, exactly. And so that's what you want. That's what props do. It helps you tell that story, because people are visual, and you want to kind of give them, like you said earlier today, don't keep telling me what you do, show me. And so if we're showing you in the kitchen cooking breakfast, or we're showing you with your family, or we're showing you with your legs crossed, I can't cross mine, but we're showing you with your legs crossed.
But you're not supposed to.
Yeah, right. But you know, the gentlemen, they be like real cool when they cross their legs. I'm trying to get there one day when I can get the legs crossed. My legs shaking right now back here, you know, but.
So anything else that we need to keep in mind when it comes to like prepping for or creating a brand photo shoot? Any other last minute thoughts?
Think about location, because a lot of times, even though you can shoot outdoors, one of the ultimate best places to shoot is in the luxury homes, I should say. And I know a lot of local clients have a tough time booking Airbnbs and finding properties that can match that type of scale. And keep in mind that all houses are not created equal. And we have some that will book certain houses and it's not up to that quality. So if you looking fly and your outfit's just bomb, but the house doesn't match what you have on and match your brand, it's gonna take it down.
It's disjointed.
And so I'd rather shoot a client outside than to shoot them inside a home that's not gonna match that level. So that's one ultimate thing that I would consider. If you can't get on Airbnb, I would suggest looking at Peerspace. Peerspace has some additional options as well.
Okay, cool. And you also help other photographers who are kind of like coming up. So can you tell us a little bit more about that? You said it's Shoot Your Shot?
Yeah, Shoot Your Shot Academy, man, where we turn beginners into snipers. You know
okay.
I call myself a little sniper because, you know, when people see me shooting, I be like behind the bushes like this, shooting like that, be on sniper mode. So I always get people that DM me, hey, what's your settings? What light did you use? And it can get kind of overwhelming getting all those inboxes. So I said, hey man, let me just create some content or an online course where I can just put all these questions in one place, and they can just, you know, subscribe for a low fee, and they can get all the answers that they need. So I've been sitting on it a little while, but I said, you know what, I'm gonna launch something by the end of spring, because, you know, with photography, it's so much stuff that you can learn. And it's just forever ending.
Perfect. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, thank you, Marcus. Thanks for your tips.
Appreciate you,
all right,
man. Appreciate it.
Hey!
Got him.